everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Rebecca, and I'm coming to you from Manifest Your Best, Healthy, Happy, and Whole. Today, the focus of this conversation is going to be about cultivating compassion. I want to talk a little bit about, what exactly compassion is, what that looks like, and how we can cultivate that in our own lives. So this message is going to be very raw. It wasn't a prepared message. It's just something that's just happened, over the past couple hours in my own life that has inspired me to make this and to share it with you all, because I think that it can be very helpful. I know that it's already been helpful in my life, and we all go through the same similar things, so that's why I'm here today. So let me just dive right in. This might seem a little bit far out there, so just bear with me and keep an open mind and an open heart. I just recently moved into a new place, and I found out that there are mice here. And you might be wondering right now, why is she talking about mice, and what does that have to do with compassion, and where is she going with this? So, like I said, keep an open mind, keep an open heart. So I was speaking to a friend who gave me some glue traps, and said, oh, they work very well, just set them down, and you should be fine. You should be able to catch the mice and whatever. And I forgot about it. I forgot about the traps, and I hadn't really seen any mice in a while. So today I did. I was in my kitchen, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this tiny little baby mouse went running across my kitchen countertop, and startled me. And my immediate thought was, I'm going to get the glue traps and put them down everywhere, all over the counters. I'm going to catch this thing. For no other reason that it's, for sanitary reasons, I want it out of my house. And so that's what I did, and I set them down, and I actually really just went about, what I was doing, and not too long later, I went back into the kitchen to grab a glass of water, and there was this little baby mouse. Initially, again, I was startled when I saw it. But I looked at it, and I looked into its eyes, and I just started crying. I uncontrollably bawling my eyes out. And I couldn't stop, as I looked into this mouse's eyes, and I could see that it was in pain, and that it was suffering, and that it was scared and alone and frightened and didn't know what was going on and why this was happening to it. And I felt all those things. And I was able to recognize all of those things because I felt all those things before. And in that moment, I was sorry. And I said that. I was crying, and I was saying, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going to make this right. Just let me make this right. I ended up calling my sister. She came over with her sister-in-law. They're very good with animals and icky things that I'm not so good with. And, we spent the next hour, working on freeing this mouse. And we got it off the glue trap. And we tried various methods to get the glue off of it, dish soap and hand sanitizer. And what actually ended up working was lemon juice. And so take note, if you ever have a mouse on a glue trap and then you're starting to feel like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Lemon juice is the answer. It's cold outside, and the mouse was wet because we were washing it. And so we got the blow dryer to dry its fur, and what I recognized out of the situation was that I didn't take the time to think what was going to happen because of my actions. What was if I had have thought, oh, the mouse is going to be on the glue trap and it's going to die, it's going to be in pain and it's going to suffer, I never would have put the glue trap down. But I didn't think about it. I just thought, this is what I want. I want it out of my house. This is how I'm going to get it done, and that's that. Until I was in that situation. Until I saw it in pain and suffering. And, it made me think, and this might seem kind of strange, but when it was happening, I was thinking, wow, I really didn't think that if I was a little mouse and somebody wanted me out of their house, how would I want to be treated? And that to me is the definition of, of being compassionate, is treating other people, other animals, other things, other places, whatever comes into your path, the way that you would want to be treated. Wherever you go, leaving that place a little bit better. If you borrow something from somebody, returning it nicer than when you received it. And these are compassionate acts. And I was not being compassionate today. I was after. When I saw the pain and when I saw the suffering, I wanted to take it away. But the lesson is, we have to be like that initially. I'll share just another quick story with you. A few days ago, I was driving, pulled up to a red light, and saw a girl on the side of the road. She had a, old bag with holes in it and a sign that said, read, traveling, need supplies. I didn't hesitate. I got my purse, got out some cash, rolled in my window, gave her a smile, gave her some cash. I didn't hesitate. There was not a second thought. It was absolutely. But you want to know why? Because I've been that girl. I've been fortunate to do a lot of traveling in my life, and I've been on the side of the road with my thumb up, relying on the kindness of strangers to meet my needs, to get me from point A to point B. I've, couch surfed and relied on the kindness of strangers to have a place to lay my head at night, and with food, There was times where I was traveling where I didn't have food and people would invite me into their homes and feed me. And so I could initially be kind with her because I didn't need to put myself in her shoes. I don't know her story exactly, but I have been in a similar situation. So I wanted to help her out. You might be thinking, why is she comparing a mouse to another person? But I really don't see a difference. If I'm being quite honest with you right now, I live very close to a homeless shelter, and I often see people with their signs on the side of the road. And you know what? Now that I'm saying this, I need to be more aware that my lack of action, my actions caused this mouse to be somewhere, but my lack of action is also a way of being, not being compassionate. And I want to put that on. I want to develop and cultivate more compassion in my life. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I really didn't know that this message was going to go there. But today, this morning, I was on my way to the market and I pulled up at a stoplight and, a police car came in the middle and there was a funeral procession going by. And I remember crying a little bit and just thinking to myself, wow, that could be anybody in any of these cars around me. That could be me. Life is very short. It's not guaranteed, And I've had that awareness, through different loss in my life, different people I've lost in my life. But I think we always need to remember that. And I had no idea that this is going to be coming forth. But the time is now. The time is always now. It's not when we're ready. It's not tomorrow. It's not when I have time. It's now. 2 minutes from now isn't guaranteed for you or for I. It's not guaranteed 2 hours from now or 2 months from now. It's now. And I just really can't believe that I had this experience this morning with this funeral procession, you know, really having a moment of understanding how precious life is, and several hours later, completely disregarding the life of this mouse, not even thinking about the consequences of my actions. And that tells me that there's a great need for me to cultivate more compassionate practices, to make that a point in my everyday life. You know, I want to always share love and share inspiration and try to be as kind and accepting as possible. But I'm only human. We all are only human. And that's why I'm sharing this message with you, because I sat down with my journal after this experience, and I just started writing, which I often do, and after writing for a little bit, I actually came up with some names of people that I need to show compassion to. And not tomorrow, not now. One of those people I actually need to forgive. They did something to me that I perceived as harmful, and I haven't forgiven them yet. And through this experience today, and I'll be quite honest with you, this little baby mouse, it didn't live. It was literally alive 1 second, and then it wasn't. We were blow drying it, it was fine, getting a paper towel to kind of make sure it was completely dry, and it was moving its arms, and then all of a sudden, no movement. Like that. And I think I needed that in front of my face. I needed that in front of my face to realize that things can change in the blink of an eye. I know that, but sometimes we need these reminders. Sometimes it happens in our own life, or it comes through somebody sharing a story with us, like I'm doing with you now. But the time is now, and this person that I need to forgive, right before I made this video, I wrote them a letter. I don't know if I'm going to send them a letter by mail, or if I'm going to convert it into email or a Facebook message or whatever, but I wrote to them like, I'm sorry I haven't forgiven you yet. And I put myself in your shoes, and now I understand why you did what you did. And, please forgive me for not being able to offer this, message sooner. And I love you. So I just invite you to take a couple minutes to, today or whenever you have some time, to get quiet and develop your own practice for compassion, and think about how you can cultivate that more in your life, because that's really what our world needs. Our world needs more love. It needs for us to be the change. We're the only ones that can do it. So thank you so much for listening again, and for sharing this time and space with me. I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed, compassionate, loving, kind day. Namaste.